Imagine a world split in half.
One side, trapped in an eternal inferno, with a sun that never moves from the sky, boiling the very rocks into vapor. The other side, a land of endless darkness, so cold that the air itself freezes and falls as snow.
A planet with a day that lasts forever, and a night that lasts forever.
In our search for life, we don't look for worlds like Earth. We look for worlds like this, because right between the fire and the ice, in the ring of perpetual twilight,
could be the strangest habitable zone in the entire universe.
This phenomenon is called tidal locking, and it's incredibly common. Most of the planets we've found in the habitable zone orbit red dwarf stars, small, turbulent stars. And the gravity of these stars is so intense that, over time, it slows the planet's rotation until it stops. One face always looks at the star, the other always looks at space. For decades, we thought this made life impossible. The day side would overheat, and the night side would freeze solid.
But we were forgetting something that saves planets. The atmosphere. The air.
the hot air from the day side doesn't stay put. It rises and flows toward the cold side, seeking equilibrium. And the cold air from the night side creeps along the surface toward the hot side.
The result? Wind. Perpetual, hurricane-force winds that scour the planet without cease.
And in the middle of that chaos, in the temperate zone between the two extremes, the Terminator Zone,
the sun sits permanently on the horizon. A sunset that never ends.
Welcome to the Twilight Ring. Here, the temperature is tolerable. Liquid water could exist.
But life here faces two monumental challenges. First, the wind. This isn't a breeze. It's a constant hurricane blowing from the hot side to the cold side.
Anything that grows too tall is ripped from its roots. Life here must be low, tough, anchored.
Second, the light. The sun is permanently on the horizon. The light is weak, an eternal reddish-orange color.
And most importantly, it always comes from the same direction. On Earth, plants grow up to compete for the sun. Here, up is useless. The only direction that matters is toward the sun. Photosynthesis here would be strange. With such weak red light, plants wouldn't be green. Green is the color of chlorophyll, which rejects green light because it's too strong on Earth. Here, on a red light world, plants would need to absorb all the energy they can get.
They would be black or a very dark purple to trap every single photon.
And they wouldn't grow up. They would grow horizontally, spreading out like carpets or giant fans. All facing one direction, toward the perpetual sunset.
Imagine forests of these black structures, like ink stains on the rocks, all pointing to the horizon.
To survive the winds, they wouldn't have fragile trunks. They would cling to the ground with root systems like steel claws.
Or perhaps they'd grow only in valleys and on the leeward side of mountains, shielded from the incessant wind. And where there are plants, there are herbivores. But an animal here couldn't be tall. It would be blown over.
Animal life would have to be flat, low to the ground, with aerodynamic shells to let the wind pass over them.
Like this creature, a wind grazer.
It spends its life clinging to the rocks, scraping the black plant carpets for food. Its eyes wouldn't be on the front. What for? Danger and food are always in the same direction.
Its eyes might be on only one side of its body, permanently looking into the wind and toward the sun.
And of course, where there is prey, there are predators. But how do you hunt in a world where the wind drowns out all sound? And how do you hide when the shadows never move?
Perhaps hunting isn't based on stealth. It's based on speed and ambush. These shadow hunters might use the permanent shadows,
Cast by mountains as their highways, invisible in the red sunlight, waiting for a wind grazer akin to a deer to stray from its rock.
We call these planets eyeball worlds. An eyeball of boiling lava staring at its star. But life, if it exists, would be on the edge. In the pupil.
A world like this forces us to abandon our terrestrial biases. A world without day and night. A world without seasons.
a world where north and south matter less than sunward and spaceward.
It shows us that life doesn't look for comfort. It looks for opportunity. It looks for the gradient.
And there is no gradient more dramatic in the cosmos than the one between eternal fire and eternal ice. The winds of a tidally locked world are extreme. But what if a planet had no surface at all? What kind of creatures could evolve in a world that is only ocean and sky?
In our next chapter, we will explore the gas giants and the possibility of life in the clouds of Jupiter.